Upright or canister? Which vacuum is right for you? Some of the most powerful and reliable vacuums on the market are corded, upright, or canister models. But what are the differences between the two styles and what's best for your cleaning needs? Hi, I'm Evan Dent. I review vacuums for Wirecutter, and I've tested all the popular brands. We're the product recommendation service of the New York Times. Reporters for Wirecutter rigorously and independently test products across nearly every category. We'll look at these two styles of vacuums in the home, test my favorites head-to-head in our lab, visit one of my vacuum repair experts.
We try not to throw things out. It's only when it's been plucked clean, sort of like a turkey after Thanksgiving.
Stick around for the end of the video when I'll share my top recommendations for both upright and canister vacuums. Welcome to Wirecutter Recommends. Close your eyes and picture a vacuum. You're probably thinking of an upright. An upright vacuum is a single unit that you push around, while a canister vacuum has a separate wheeled motor and bin. Let's see how an upright or canister vacuum works in my space. In terms of pure space, a weaker cordless stick vacuum is going to be your best bet. But we're not going to talk about those today. An upright vacuum is going to be your next best storage option. It's got a contained footprint. Canister vacuums take up the most space. They've got a nice rewindable cord, but their hoses and attachments can be clunky. To get along baseboards and nooks and crannies, the canister shines, easily lifting debris in one pass under a dishwasher. While, as you can see here, the upright design struggles. Another benefit of canisters is that their flexible tube allows you to easily clean walls, ceilings, and other surfaces. And another thing, the canister is a star when it comes to maneuverability. Some canister vacuums, like this Miele model, really seize on carpets, but it has this bleed valve to alleviate some of the suction. You can move it more easily over carpets this way, but you're losing some of that performance advantage. Unfortunately, I don't quite have large carpeted rooms yet, but that is really where you'd see an upright vacuum excel. Maybe next house. Let's run some more scientific tests at the Wirecutter labs. I've picked out some of my favorite upright and canister vacuums. Let's see how they compare. Suction and airflow are two major factors in what makes a great vacuum. Strong suction pulls up debris, and high airflow moves that debris up into the bin. A powerful machine combines both. In this first test, I will measure suction with a pressure test. It's good to see anything above 15 kPa. The Miele and two Sharks top 20. This is especially helpful for pulling up deep-seated dander and dust, the stuff you're not always able to see around the house. People are often surprised the first time they use an upright or canister vacuum with just how quickly they're filling the bin or bag. They're picking up way more debris off the ground than they used to with their older, less powerful vacuum. While the two Sebos had lower maxes, around 15 kPa, that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if they're high scores for airflow. So let's test airflow next. For this test, I MacGyvered an anemometer in a cardboard box. The Miele Guard M1 canister came out on top with a CFM max of 900, but anything over an 800 is impressive. The upright Sebo and Shark Power Detect met that threshold. The Shark Navigator and the Sebo Airbolt K3 topped out around 600 to 650 CFM. Okay, that was a lot of math and science, so let's check out what that all means. Based on what we've seen so far, the Miele Guard M1 has performed the best, but we haven't even picked up any stuff yet. We loaded a carpet with 2 ounces of coffee grounds per lane to see how much each vacuum could pick up. The Shark Power Detect picked up 4 ounces of debris, which is crazy because we had vacuumed before and it picked up more than we put down. That really shows off its suction and airflow ability. The Miele Guard M1 also performed well, picking up 3 ounces of dust and coffee grounds. We designed some tests explicitly to fail. We want to see how these machines operate under the worst circumstances. What happens to these vacuums when you get a whole hunk of hair caught in the roller? Points here go to the Shark Power Detect, which was the only easy one to untangle.
Here we go.
The other ones proved much more difficult. Now let's try a bigger mess. What we're looking to avoid is the snowplow effect, where the vacuum pushes around the cereal rather than picking it up in one pass. Shark Power Detect has a recessed lip on its brush head, which allows it to pick up large debris on its first pass. The Shark Navigator struggled a bit. So on pure power, uprights and canisters perform pretty similarly, but maneuverability is one where you're going to see shape and design come into play. So let's do some additional maneuverability testing. Both of the canister vacuums were more maneuverable than the Shark Navigator, but the Sebo Felix is surprisingly nimble for an upright vacuum. And the Shark Power Detect has a unique feature that allows the bin to be detached while operating, giving you the best of both worlds. Really, the only one losing points here is the Navigator, which is the least flexible. For many, an upright vacuum is easier to push around, where a canister vacuum, where you have to drag the canister behind you, is a little harder to get used to. One benefit of canister vacuums, however, is a telescoping handle that lets you get into hard-to-reach corners and can adjust for users of different heights. And it's here where the Sebo Airbolt K3 canister stands out. It has a thoughtful design and the ability to stand up on its own. As you can see, all these vacuums performed well in testing. They're my favorites for a reason. But the Miele Guard M1 and the Shark Power Detect came out as clear winners in our lab tests. If you're wondering why we haven't included Dyson, their corded models just aren't really up to snuff. They're hard to maneuver, a little loud, and you can do better. Their cordless stick models are really where they excel. By this point, you might have found a vacuum that fits your needs. But will it last? Let's go to a repair shop to see which vacuums last decades.
We're at Brooks Appliance Brothers at Park Slope, Brooklyn. It was my karate sensei and my uncle's business. Me and my brother have been running it and owning it since 1993. A good vacuum cleaner, like a Miele or a Sebo, you're gonna get probably 20 years. And then you might see some repairs needed. 25 years later, the parts are still available. That's one of the things that makes those two brands better than every other brand. Most people that buy one, they come in here and they want to tell me how they love their vacuum cleaner. When something works that well and treats you right, you kind of find an attachment. Those other brands, they're clunky. You're not falling in love with that, you know. You use it because you have to.
I asked him to weigh in on the upright versus canister debate, and he was passionate.
A canister vacuum cleaner has more versatility. The upright vacuum cleaner's that bottom piece has a revolving brush. You're rubbing plastic against your hard floor. That's not really the best thing. So canister vacuum cleaners, you can remove that front piece and put a bare floor tool. Upright vacuums in general are just clunky. These canister vacuums, the maneuverability is leaps and bounds above that. When you're dragging it around, it's effortless, like a loyal puppy versus a puppy that's stubborn and wants to go in the opposite direction.
I largely agree with Steve. Miele and Sebo are two of the brands that I've found hold up longest over time. They're both higher end, so they're expensive and you're going to pay a lot up front. But they've got great warranties and you can expect them to last for a long time. But for folks who don't want to spend so much, I found that Shark offers budget-friendly vacuums that perform similarly to higher-end models. They might be a little harder to repair though. If you want something that's easy to store and surprisingly agile, an upright vacuum is right for you. The Shark Power Detect is a great mid-range option with impressive performance and a good balance of maneuverability and convenience. Your luxe option is the Sebo Felix Premium, which will last you for a couple decades. It's nearly $800, but it's money well spent. And if you really don't have the budget to spend hundreds of dollars on an upright vacuum, but still want something well-rounded, go with the Shark Navigator Liftaway. If you have extra storage space and need something with the best suction power and maneuverability, a canister vacuum is the way to go. The Miele Guard M1 really does have super impressive suction power and airflow. For a few hundred more dollars, the Sebo Airbolt K3 Premium is better for homes with more carpets, plus it balances performance with more thoughtful design and attachments. Both of these canister recommendations could last you decades. All of these vacuums are linked in the description below, along with a link to our written guide. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, get down in the comments and tell us whether you prefer canisters or uprights. We'll see you next time. Bye.